In GCPR reception, an extracellular ligand such as epinephrine bonds to a membrane-embedded receptor, which then alters its shape and activates a G protein by binding with it and replacing the GDP with a GTP, which then binds to the adenylyl cyclase, activating it, causing it to catalyze the conversion of ATP to a cAMP, creating an exponentially growing signal cascade, which can cause cellular responses such as activation of glycogen phosphorylase, which turns glycogen into glucose, and deactivates glycogen synthase, which is used to store extra glucose as glycogen. Then in ion-gated reception, a ligand in the extracellular space, such as capsaicin, a compound found in peppers that causes the taste of spiciness, bonds to a membrane-embedded protein, such as TRPV1, an organic temperature sensor that helps regulate body temperature. This causes a change in the shape of the protein, allowing it to open and close and alter the concentration of ions, such as calcium and sodium ions. In the case of TRPV1, it causes calcium ions to enter the cell. This causes a cellular response to the nervous system, telling it that the body is overheating when it is just capsaicin. The body then combats it with its measures to cool the body. In receptor tyrosine kinase, also known as RTK, a ligand such as epidermal growth factor, which is responsible for growth, binds to the receptor site, and two of the proteins come together to make a dimer. Then the receptors use ATP to attach phosphates to each tyrosine. From there, a cellular response occurs through the activation of MAPK kinase or MKKK. This enters the nucleus and phosphorylates transcription factors, which transcribe genes, causing cell growth and division. Finally, intracellular signaling relies on the ligands being hydrophobic and diffusing through the membrane. An example are hormones like aldosterone. From there, they bind to a receptor protein within the cytoplasm, producing a hormone receptor complex, which then diffuses into the nucleus. From there, it is responsible for which genes are expressed and acts as a transcription factor. It creates mRNA from the DNA, which then diffuses into the cytoplasm and meets with ribosomes to produce proteins. Aldosterone diffuses into cells from the blood, meets with the mineralocorticoid receptor, where it is then able to diffuse into the nucleus. It controls the gene expression of protein pumps of sodium chloride, sodium, and potassium. This makes sense as aldosterone controls the amount of sodium and water in cells by releasing potassium and holding in sodium.